Hey guys, don't forget to check out our Patreon to support us and get up to 2 weeks early access to all our reaction series, including Ruby, Volume 6 going on right now. There's also reactions to all sorts of series that are exclusive to Patreon, like Avatar The Last Airbender, Attack on Titan, Dragon Ball Super, Death Note, the Fate series, and even more series on top of that. So if you want to get more DarkStar faster, you gotta go check that out. Big thanks to our current patrons. You guys have been helping us keep this channel running and the reactions coming. You guys are appreciated by all of us here at DarkStar. And don't forget to enjoy the video, guys. What's up, netizens? You're watching DarkStar. In the early 80s, we asked sci-fi junkies what their favorite VR movie was. The answers were Ultron. My name's Anthony. I'm by fellow reactioneers, Joey and Chris. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Ultron Sigma.
Yep.
What's Stigma? Stigma ball.
Is it a big robot? Is it a big robot?
What?
I don't
Ultron.
know who it is. I'm gonna go look. Yeah, big
Oh,
robot.
Sigma? Sigma's from
Looking guy, right?
Capcom. Mega Man?
Yep.
Oh, what is he from?
Lose Capcom. Isn't that like the main boss that they joined together for the new fucking Marvel vs. Capcom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What game is it? Yeah, Mega Man. Yeah, I thought it was.
Mega Man.
Mega Man versus fucking Marvel, dude. Oh, God. I mean, I don't know anything about either one of the characters, quite frankly, from the actual comics and stuff. Obviously, I've watched Avengers, Age of Ultron, but he kind of sucked in that, honestly. So,
Yes, he did.
expect him to be significantly more powerful from the comic things that they bring up.
Yeah. Be interested to see this shit about him because I don't know nothing about him besides what I've seen in the movie.
There's a reason he is my favorite Marvel villain.
Now,
I'll put it that way.
I saw in the comments on the introduction of, I think Ultron was the first one. They, they bring out the videos or whatever that are like, Ultron smashes into Death Battle or whatever, those fucking ones that come out on Gritech's channel like every week leading up to the actual battle, and all the comments like were basically like, there was like 50% of the comments were Ultron stomps, and then 50% of the comments were Sigma stomps. So it's going to be a contentious death battle for the actual overall fan base regardless. A lot of people seem to think that either one of them is way more powerful than the other one. I won't be able to make my choice until after I see the thing. But I will say, based on design, Ultron looks way cooler than I mean, like,
Yeah.
I will definitely say this. I'm hashtag heavy bias going into this one. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Ultron for the win.
I like Ultron a decent chunk. I thought he was going to be a lot cooler than he was. Kind of turned into one of those. What's the Iron Man villain? They fucked up Mandarin. Is that his name?
Yeah,
Mandarin, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be one of those. Like, there are no strings on. Like, that shit was so sick in the trailer. And
It was dope.
It was just
It was.
not that sick or whatever.
Mandarins don't never see me coming.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm doing this for a movie, bro. What?
My name's Trevor.
What?
Man. Sometimes, dude. Sometimes. Anyway, okay, let's go ahead and watch the analysis, and then we can see what's up.
Humans fear what they don't understand, especially when it comes to the infinite potential of artificial intelligence.
Like Ultron, Marvel's mechanical mass murderer.
And Sigma, the general of genocide from Mega Man X.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win
Hey, he's got a lightsaber.
death battle. Hank Pym was a founding member of the Avengers, the creator of the revolutionary Pym particles, and designated Scientist Supreme by Eternity. He was also the quote-unquote father of one of the greatest mass murderers in the universe.
Guess which one he's most remembered for?
Eager to push the boundaries of science, Hank constructed an artificial intelligence which could learn and evolve on its own, modeling it on his own brain patterns.
Just one problem. At the time, Hank was pretty effed up and just a few years from going full-on Looney Tunes.
Maybe not the best time to base
Ultron
an AI
created
off your
vision.
mind, but still, Hank's project was a success. Ultron had been born.
Hang on, Wiz. I thought Tony and not Hulk created Ultron.
In the movies, sure, but it was Hank in the primary source material, the comics.
Well, he really knocked it out of the park. Ultron's super smart brain evolved past Hank's ability to cope, basically skipping over the innocent kid phase and straight to "Screw you, Dad, you'll never understand."
I bet you know a lot about that.
Screw you, Wiz, you'll never understand.
Because Ultron's consciousness was based off Hank's struggling bipolar one, he inherited his creator's issues and magnified them into absurdity. With a new thirst for power, coupled with a severe inferiority complex, Ultron escaped the lab, bent on destroying his father, the Avengers, and basically all organic life.
And the first step was upgrading his trash can of a body into a sleek new adamantium one. The same kind of metal used for Wolverine's skeleton chrome job. But you may be wondering, how's he gonna walk around if his entire body is made of adamantium? Even Thor has a hard time bending that stuff. And he can friggin' destroy planets!
Ultron thought of that and created an answer. His molecular rearranger allows him to mold and shape his body any way he likes. He can manipulate his adamantium self to move around or transform into blades, spikes, and explosions, apparently. Specifically, he can expend his body through a blast of energetic force. The molecular rearranger is also a handy repair tool on the off chance he is damaged.
He's also got a power siphon to absorb energy, jet boosters for flight, nanobot antibodies, and a fusion reactor powering the whole package. And if you're a death
technically,
robot
he's just
who's about to
rearranging
challenge
what he
all the
had, right?
Avengers to a fight all at once, which Ultron did, you're gonna need more than just some fancy doodads to pull it off.
He possesses super strength and super speed, and he can manipulate ionic energy. An ion is an atom or molecule with an electric charge, and this charge is created when it loses or gains one or more electrons.
Enough nerd speak, Wiz. It's just there because all robo people need to shoot awesome robo lasers, right?
Absolutely. Ultron can fire beams of ionic energy from his eyes, mouth, and hands, and can even use it to create force fields. He also wields an encephalo ray, which allows him to read and control minds, erase memories, and even put you into a coma with a single hit.
Syphilis ray, huh? That's gotta be hard to get rid of.
Too true. Also, Ultron's artificial intelligence isn't bound to any one physical body. Should he be destroyed, he can transfer his consciousness into another machine to survive.
And boy, does he have a lot of drones on hand just for that. Like the giant Ultron 7 or the Christmas-themed Santatron. And who could forget Ultron 15, the alcoholic one? Part robot, all fun.
While most of these drones are relatively fragile compared to his own adamantium shell, Ultron has a veritable army on his hands, all of which are extensions of his will that he commands simultaneously.
He's conquered the whole world with these guys in 2 different future timelines. He's humiliated heavy hitters like Iron Man, Wonder Man, and Thor, flown across the entire galaxy just for fun, and tanked hits from Mjolnir like they were nothing. Plus, he's hella smart. I mean, Hank is Scientist Supreme, right? And Ultron was designed to grow smarter than him, so that must make him Scientist Ultra Supreme, with extra cheese.
He even assimilated a techno-organic race known as the
Creamer.
Phalanx, and then used them to conquer the entire Kree Empire. This empire spans the Greater Magellanic Cloud, a real-life satellite galaxy near to our own Milky Way. It's made up of 1,000 planets across a diameter of 14,000 light-years, and Ultron conquered all of them in just a couple hours.
Damn, that's some dedication. I can't even bother to finish conquering all the anthills outside my shack.
With all that power and intelligence, Ultron was able to defeat the time-traveling warlord Kang, who pulled an army of superheroes across time to fight for him.
Kang lost so many times that the universe started to collapse from how many people he was time-hopping to fight Ultron. Man, is there anything that can stop this robot?
Well, sufficient heat can melt his internal circuitry, his adamantium is vulnerable to antimetal, and he is frequently defeated by computer viruses that can attack his AI directly.
He also never really got over the crazy he inherited from Hank. He once self-destructed in utter disbelief after reading the phrase, "Thou shalt not kill." Yeah, he's so murder-happy that just the thought of not killing people drove him to suicide. Yeah, guy's got problems.
No kidding, he wants to turn Hank's wife into a robot bride for himself.
Hey, pretty mama.
And once merged with Hank for a cross-galaxy road trip, slaughtering
Bravo,
billions
dude.
just for fun.
Whoa, wait, what was that bit about sex-botting his mom?
There aren't enough Pym particles in the world to shrink Ultron's issues, but to be honest, that's probably what makes him so incredibly deadly.
But, like the man said, what doesn't kill me just makes me stronger.
Shit was so sick, dude.
Voice actor was
In the
lit,
year
dude.
21, humanity experienced a golden age of technology, all thanks to the discovery and replication of a certain blue android that could think and feel like a human. These replicated androids, or Reploids, were mass-produced and used at all levels of society.
Wow, that sounds
with
amazing.
Bluebot.
Like it could have no possible negative repercussions at all.
Unfortunately,
There it is.
instances of crime involving Reploids began to increase. Something seemed to be infecting them, turning these Reploids into violent mavericks who needed to be stopped.
So, Dr. Kane, the guy that started this Reploid shindig in the first place, created a robot so badass that it could hunt mavericks without getting infected himself. This Reploid was named Sigma.
Commander
Damn.
Sigma led
Cut
the
that
newly
in down
formed
low.
Maverick Hunters like an elite police force. Under his leadership skills, the number of overall casualties dropped to a whopping 0.
Things were going great. Well, until
Buzz
they found a
Lightyear's
mysterious
there.
red maverick in an abandoned laboratory who started eating Maverick Hunter ass for breakfast. Wait, that didn't come out right.
Sigma fought the fight of his life. And though he technically won, his victory was far more Pyrrhic than he or the rest of the world could ever have imagined.
So this red guy was called Zero, and turns out the thing infecting Reploids and turning them into Mavericks was a virus leaking from Zero's stasis pod. That also didn't sound right.
A final gift from that dastardly Dr. Wily.
Oh dear God, that thing is hard on a hangover.
Fortunately, Sigma was designed to fight off such a virus. Unfortunately, this actually just made things worse. Instead of bending Sigma to its violent will, the virus merged with his programming, becoming one with his body and mind. Together, they both became stronger than before, with a whole new outlook on the world. Sigma began to look at humankind as detrimental to Reploid evolution, holding back their full potential.
Yeah, the big strong metal people hate the dumb flesh bags, blah blah. I hear it from you every time at the bar, Wiz.
When was the last time I went to a bar?
Hey,
don't
how much
remember?
brother?
No.
Mission accomplished. Sigma gathered an army of mavericks, and when the time was right, his invasion began. But to pull it off, he needed some bitchin' robo weapons. Sigma's favorite is his totally not copyrighted beam sword, but he also likes tearing through
don't
bots
see him
with his flying hammer,
take
beam
over a
scythe,
galaxy.
and the
Ah, man.
I'm not compensating for anything size
Isn't it
Sigma
pretty close?
blade.
He
Even
also
close to my
wields an
opinion
energy
now.
rifle, flamethrower, and a giant
The only
energy
way he
cannon.
can win at the
For extra
moment
defense, he
is
has
if
a
he
shield
does
that can be
if his
tossed around the
virus
room like
can
a
fuck with him.
boomerang. And hey, look,
Yep.
he's like a robo Wolverine, only the metal's on the outside. Well, and inside.
With all these weapons and an army at his back, Sigma's operation was nearly successful. However, he was halted by the original android Dr. Kane found all those years ago, Mega Man X.
But Sigma just kept coming back. Over and over and over and... Wait a minute, is that a new villain? Oh, never mind, he's just being controlled by Sigma. How the hell does he keep coming back? How many lives does this guy have?
Well, Sigma's body is just a shell. The true essence of Sigma lies in the merged and sentient Sigma virus. This virus can infect other robotic
there it
bodies, turning other Reploids maverick or even completely transferring
wins,
his
that'll be it.
consciousness. He's even built several
Literally
enormous
the only
bodies
weapon
just for
at
this.
the moment.
These extra robo shells have all sorts of unique abilities. They can fly, teleport around, make walls of electricity, create force fields, shoot a giant laser beam of death, or make some blue balls. Ah, that's rough, buddy. I've been there.
Also, each of Sigma's mavericks possess their own abilities that are...
Hey, look, Wiz, they're all animals. That one's a penguin, and that's an octopus, and that one's a Kawanger. Yeah, Kawangers are... what the fuck is a Kawanger?
It's just a messed up romanization of Kuwagata, the Japanese word for stag beetle.
Yeah, I guess Kawanger sounds more badass.
With these forces, Sigma waged war with humanity for many, many years.
He's battled
I'm not gonna
top-tier
lie to you,
Maverick
I mean,
hunters like X,
it's gonna be a really
Axel,
dumb
and even
battle
that
if
Zero
he's
guy.
completely
Wait,
outmatched.
what's Guns N' Roses
And
doing
he
here?
just wins because
Zero once survived an impact that broke apart the Eurasia
There
space
isn't another
colony,
way
which,
from what
when
I
its
see right
pieces
now.
landed on Earth, created an explosion equal to at least 100 teratons of TNT. And Sigma is powerful enough to take out Zero in a single hit.
Damn, But Sigma's also managed to damage X, who once channeled enough energy through his body to destroy all of Japan. Suck it, Godzilla.
And many of Sigma's bodies could tank
Only
attacks from
Japan,
both
huh?
X and Zero without much issue.
But to
That's
be fair, it's
impressive,
not like-
considering X fought the General, whose
whatever.
body was
We'll
tough
see what
enough to
happens.
block a laser capable of destroying the Earth. The minimum amount of energy necessary to destroy a planet is known as its gravitational binding energy, which in the case of Earth is equivalent to a little over 63 sextillion tons of TNT.
That's 22 zeros. The number, not the robot.
All these made-up
Plus,
names.
he's fast enough to keep up with Zero,
Words.
the actual robot, not the number, who dodged Object Sunflower's beam of sunlight.
Actually, Sigma's likely even faster. Recall that Reploids like X, Zero, and Sigma were designed to be superior in every way to classic-era robots like Mega Man. That same Mega Man fought Duo, a space robot capable of flying between Saturn and the Earth within 35 seconds.
The only thing that could
So he's
stop
got
Sigma
speed.
was the Mother Elf antivirus program. But if you don't take out the squishy computery center, he'll always come back.
So long as Sigma's still kicking, the dream of a world where humans and robots coexist is doomed to be a nightmare.
The time has come to prove your mettle against me. This fight will decide the fate of all Reploids.
What?
I mean, I'm sticking with Ultron. I mean, I like him because I know him, but I mean, it seems like he's got him outclassed in a lot of shit. Sigma has the fucking stuff to put the virus in him and speed, and that's about it.
That's the only way that Sigma wins my
They said, "Oh, Sigma can destroy Japan with fucking Ultron," and like
He didn't
almost
ju-
destroy
so-
fucking Earth.
Well, that's what I was gonna brought up. Oh, I don't know about that. Well, didn't they just bring up the blown up the planet thing now? What was that for?
Well, it was somebody that he like hung with, not that he beat though. Somebody he fought and like held his own or some shit like that.
Okay, I don't know. I will say this. So the Galaxy Fleet. Go ahead, Chris, if you want to say it first.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the one thing I can see happening is they brought up a bunch of the speed stuff for Sigma right there at the end. I think what you're gonna see is them mention the speed for Ultron by using the Galaxy Fleet, because he spread out across the entire galaxy in a couple hours or whatever. I think that's more impressive than that. So I think that they're gonna have to try to figure out how to calc that.
I don't know. So one of the things, which I mean, honestly, I didn't really see too many comic book slips from the Age of Ultron. But one of the biggest things, and the reason why I'm still staying on Ultron, is because the entire comic was them getting to Ultron, like them trying to get to the actual Ultron and kill Ultron.
Right.
And when they finally get on the ship and go up against Ultron, they find out that it's Vision, and he's like cut in half, and like Ultron's controlling him. And whenever they finally figured out, like Ultron literally took over. I think that what it was is that within the first hour of Ultron touching down in Age of Ultron, out of the 748 mutant / heroes that lived in New York, only 14 were left alive within the first hour of him touching down. When they finally find Vision and figure all this shit out, they find out that not only is Ultron not there, he's controlling all this and doing all this. I think they said it was like 500 years from the future. So he's literally not even in the timeline, and he's doing all this from the future. I mean, that kind of superior intellect, it's very hard for me to give this Sigma. It's very hard. Like, the virus is the only shot, but it's still hard for me to believe that, like, this day and age, Ultron is just going to be able to get taken out by a virus whenever we're, like, fucking 500 years in the future, and he's literally going back in the past and not leaving the future, but controlling everything for 500 years and being able to take shit over. Like, I mean, it's just, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard for me to look at it.
I expect the stats to be in Ultron's favor, but I don't expect them to be as much in his favor as I thought earlier on in Sigma's thing, because, like I said, there's only so much. You have to look at each individual one and what they can do, obviously, to some extent.
Right.
As opposed
It's just
to
hard
like
for me with Sigma because it seems like a lot of his stats are based off of people that he's been able to hold his own against versus actually beating.
Sure.
So how Joey was just talking about the
Yeah.
whole blowing up the Earth. Oh, well, he held his own against him. Or like how much damage Mega Man could take. Oh, well, he was able to put it.
Well, to be fair, they did that for
punched him.
the blowing up the Earth one for him was for Thor too, I think. If I'm remembering correctly.
What do you mean?
That's the one
They
that
were just
Joey
talking
brought
about
up.
the withstanding of adamantium is all they were talking about. You know, like Thor has a hard time damaging.
I didn't see the
adamantium,
one where
and
they
he
said
can-
that Ultron just by himself basically could fucking blow up the planet. which is what Joey said. That's what I was trying to.
Well, I don't remember for sure. I thought. I mean, I know it was going to happen in the movie, right? He's supposed to drop that rock and it was going to destroy Earth, and they
Well, he's
stopped
gonna
him from
drop
doing
the
it.
City. Yeah, he's gonna
Drop
drop
the city and was gonna
and
destroy
then
Earth. Which still kind of means he could do it. I don't know if it's been done. I don't know if they said that exactly, but that's what he was going to do. I don't know if it's been done in the comics. I thought they mentioned something about that, but we'll see.
Well, it wasn't actually gonna destroy the Earth. It was gonna wipe out the planet because, like, the people on the planet. So it would have been like a meteor
Okay.
hitting. I mean, that's happened to Earth before. It's still here.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that's not the point. That's not the point. I still think that his stats are going to be better, and I hope that means Ultron wins. I'm going to pick Ultron. I hope that means Ultron wins. I'm not a fan of the virus taking him over. Marvel's
real lame.
really big, so I would think that he's encountered viruses before that he's also been able to resist. They showed cases where he wasn't able to, and it fucking hurt him. Something, whatever. I don't know. There's a lot of factors going on with this one.
Maybe he pulls in all of his fucking minions, right? And the virus kills them, but Ultron stays, like, fights it off and kills the guy or something.
Well, that's the only thing for me is that one of Ultron's biggest strengths is that he can just always fall back on other bodies and stuff like that. But if he gets infected, this is why viruses are good against him, because if he gets infected in his code, that goes with him to the next body.
Wherever he goes.
It's his
yeah,
code,
sure.
it's not the body that he's in that's getting injured or whatever. So that's why he's weak to viruses in the first, or that's why, like, that's one of the only things that can actually even do anything to him in the first place. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, or that he's going to be able to make it work or whatever, but that's the only reason why that even works in the first place. But I don't know. This is one of the hardest ones in terms of trying to easily, like, compartmentalize, like, all the different categories and different things that could happen in this one. Usually I have a few things where I'm just like, if this happens, answer these 2 or 3 questions and that's who's going to win. And this one I'm not really sure. The big one is obviously, is the virus going to affect him?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Be kind of a shitty way to end the battle, in my opinion. I mean, I can kind of get it to some extent, but
I agree, but we won't know till we watch it.
yeah. All right, let's go ahead and see. Rude. So rude.
Hello, everyone. I'll accept your unconditional surrender now.
At the risk of sounding cliche, you and what army?
He's gonna fuck up all the little minions. Oh, there we go. Never mind. I can't be the only one that thinks this song is terrible, right?
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah. I'd much prefer it not be there.
Ultron's Phoenix was pretty sick, honestly.
I am Sigma. I am superior. Buzz off.
Mouth name.
Your reign is a delusion. You're all just puppets on strings. I'll tear out your circuits.
Oh, okay.
Bathe in your oil.
Goddamn.
I mean,
To be extinguished.
it's fucking huge.
Lucky for me, I'm my own best backup. You're mine!
Oh, the big one?
Oh, nice.
Oh, they showed that body for a fucking reason.
Jeez. I feel like I'm watching Dragon Ball Z.
Fuck.
I don't think this is gonna work. Do you think it's gonna work?
No.
Nope, I sure don't.
Yeah.
Nice.
Are they gonna?
Just as I
Good way to
thought.
make friends.
Despite Sigma's deviousness and ferocity, he was fairly outclassed by Ultron's talents.
Sigma could scale to the general, who took a face full of 63 sextillion tons of TNT. But Ultron can withstand hits from Thor and his hammer, and we all know how awesome that thing is.
When Thor fought Gore the God Butcher, their battle created shockwaves powerful enough to shatter planets thousands of miles away. This could only be possible with a force equivalent to 682 septillion tons of TNT, over 10,000 times stronger than anything Sigma could survive.
And not only has Ultron frequently smacked Thor around like a toddler, Thor has had a really hard time trying to damage Ultron's adamantium armor, so Sigma's weapons couldn't either.
In terms of speed, Ultron flew across the galaxy in several months, putting him roughly 200,000 times the speed of light. That's leagues faster than Sigma, even if we scale him to Duo, who is 114 times light speed. And frankly, scaling
wow, I
to Duo
thought
through Mega Man in the first place is a
Sigma
bit
was gonna be
capricious,
faster.
as Duo didn't use
Well,
his
they
full
never gave
potential
us
in their
the
fight.
time period.
Even with
that
all
Ultron
that,
went
it
through
really
the
didn't
universe.
matter
They
who
just
could
told us
punch
they did.
harder or move faster, because the real fight was between the Ultron AI and the Sigma virus.
Right, and while infection and possession was kind of the Sigma virus's thing, Ultron's AI was far more advanced. Recall how he
Yeah,
enslaved
that
an
makes sense.
entire techno-organic race to the point where he used them to conquer an empire spanning a whole satellite galaxy.
Yeah, the Phalanx are like Marvel's version of the Borg. Hell, that means Ultron basically Sigma'd a whole race of Sigmas.
It also helps that Ultron is as smart or smarter than Hank, the scientist supreme. Hank's even admitted as much, and he's smart enough to construct an infinitely sized mansion in a higher dimension of existence. Sigma was certainly a ruthless schemer, but nowhere near
I
that
think
level.
about that.
The only time Ultron was ever defeated by a virus was one specifically designed to bypass his defenses and leave him vulnerable to attack from the future and a bunch of other complicated stuff.
Sigma was a tenacious one, but Ultron was the stronger android, the tougher villain, and the deadlier virus.
It wasn't long before Ultron Sigma-lated him.
The winner is Ultron.
It's pretty,
Good
pretty
lord.
bad. That was a bad one.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want the battle track from that fight, you can click the link down below and get it on.
Alright.
No, we done with the battle track. That I promise you.
That's terrible.
That was questionable music choice. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I can't complain. I was gonna complain a little bit because on one hand, you can't. I mean, if we're gonna say if the virus would have taken Ultron out, it would have been kind of shitty. I mean, you gotta say it the other way too. But I didn't realize. I like it a little bit more just because of the fact that I guess I wasn't paying much attention to Ultron assimilating other people. So I kind of saw it as an attack defense thing, when in reality it was more of like an attack thing. So they were on like it was just an AI battleground basically, as opposed to like the way I was seeing it before was kind of like a mind control thing, right? Like somebody who's really strong but has like weakness to mind control. It's like that's just a shitty way for a battle to end because like, yeah, I mean they just used hacks to win. That's kind of how I saw it. But if they were both battling as AI virus against each other, trying to take control, then I see that more as a battle. So makes more sense, a little bit better, I think. But yeah, other than that, I mean, we pretty much physical stat wise, pretty much exactly what we expected to have happen. Although it was a little bit shitty that they used only other people's feats and kind of not only, but some of the higher end stuff they did for like the physical and the damage and the durability and stuff like that. They used other people's feats or whatever. Been a lot of scaling going on in Death Battle recently. But I guess it's just how they're gonna do their thing. Have to pay attention to that from now on. That's pretty much all I got. What do you guys think of the actual battle?
That's pretty good.
I'd like to see some nice animated ones again.
Yeah, I was expecting
I got
more
3D.
better animated on that one, but it was fun.
I'd like to see another 3D one come out at some point. I know they're obviously cost more, take more time to make, and all that kind of stuff or whatever. But
Yeah, I feel like they could cut cost and cut time with this fucking animation of them going on. Personally, but that's just me.
I don't think it takes too much time. I think it adds a little bit to it. I don't mind it. Some of the stuff is a little bit cringy, but for the most part, I don't that much. But I mean, this one I can kind of understand why they didn't go 3D though. They wanted to use the whole armies. Obviously, that's a lot.
It would have took a ton. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that.
But I would still like to see some 3D battles moving forward a little bit. But and then maybe some better soundtrack choices.
For sure, dude.
Anyway, all right. Well, that's gonna do it for this one. Next week we'll watch another one. Until then, stay bright. Stay on the dark side. What's up, YouTube? Did you like that video? Then don't forget to like and subscribe. You can support us on Patreon if you want to get early access to all our series. Check out the links in the description below. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch. We post polls and play games. And as always, thanks for watching.